Hey everybody, Adam Savage in the cave with Evan and Caitlin.
Hi.
Dudes, so good to see you in the cave.
You
okay,
too.
years and years and years ago, I received this magnificently beautiful personalized pocket knife made for me by you two nutjobs. You should know that this has never left the display cabinet right next to my desk.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of my favorite objects anyone has ever sent me in the beautiful case. Your guys' work encompasses so many different disciplines. Even this from like 7 or 8 years ago. There's like 9 different things going on. And you have brought, this is the first time you've come to the cave to show and to make.
Yes.
I'm so delighted. I'm so delighted. Tell me what you have brought.
We want to show you everything that resin is capable of. So
We're here to spread the gospel of resin today.
So we have different things you can embed in them, different textures you can add to resin. You can encase different things in resin, and you can add a whole bunch of weird and strange things to resin.
Embeds, textures, encasing additives. I love this.
Then we're going to do a demonstration, and you're going to do some resin.
Let's go on a deep dive.
Yeah, so embeds. 3 years ago, I saw on your channel these wireless LEDs. Have you seen these? Norm did a video on them?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I built this right here to show them off.
Just for demonstration purposes.
Yeah.
Amazing, your own little hand-wound coil.
Yep.
And we had the thought, how cool would it be to embed those little LEDs in resin, specifically resin dice, and then build a little dice throwing tray with the coil embedded in it. So,
What? Dude.
So they still work when embedded in resin, and you can do cool things like this.
Oh my God, and they're not going to run out of battery because it's not being powered by inside.
Yeah, we made a big wooden dice tray that you can like roll into, like a normal D&D one.
Yeah.
But that was kind of delicate. It was kind of YouTube.
it was YouTube ready,
YouTube
it
durable?
wasn't travel ready.
YouTube durable. Oh.
They're meant to be tossed.
Yeah.
Dude, I love this idea
Just like this?
so much.
So this is just a uninterruptible power supply from a Raspberry Pi
Right.
that I have routed into
Fairly
a
robust.
voltage regulator.
Okay.
So you can adjust the voltage with this little dial right here. And then it outputs to the coil. I'll just laser cut.
What is your background in electrical engineering to do the electronic stuff? Or
So
is it-
I went to school and for engineering.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I did mechanical engineering, but
Yeah.
I took a few classes in electrical.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So you got a little bit of a smattering of the base on all of this stuff.
Yeah, I kind of do a lot
He
of the
does.
I kind of do a lot of the prep work and figuring out how things are going to work, and Caitlin makes sure it gets done.
Project management.
I'll just be like starting more things.
I used to work for a roboticist, and the prime directive for working for the roboticist was Chico cannot build any new robots until all the robots currently are working.
That's very Evan coded.
Yes.
I thought that might. So did you also? You must have built environments for this that light up the dice.
Yes.
Yeah. The little tray that we built, it has like a velvet bottom and has these wood sides, and underneath is the copper coil. So like it just looks like a normal dice tray, and then when you throw it in,
And it's great
they'll light
because
up.
the big one, it starts lighting up at about here. So as it falls down into the tray, it lights up.
I'm so into this. This is so great.
Another thing that was really interesting and hard to do for these is if you notice on these little coils, they need to be upright in order to light. If they're on their side, they don't light up. So we had to get the internal geometry correct.
So what do you have, a
these.
tetrahedral arrangement of them?
Yeah.
Wow.
We made these little like popsicles.
Yeah.
LED popsicles, so that like no matter how it landed, some
There's
would
always
be
one
lit.
kind of mostly pointing up.
Yes.
Yeah.
That actually sounds like the most difficult problem.
That
to solve.
was.
That
And the other very difficult thing is, dice people are very focused on the integrity of the dice and the balance.
Yes.
Yes.
And trying to get that balanced, I mean, we did our best.
Right.
We did our best.
Do you do testing of them to make sure all the correct numbers are showing up at the right periodicity? You do.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to say that they're perfectly balanced.
Sure.
I'm just going to say that we did our best.
We did our best.
Look, it's a campaign. It's not Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Gosh, that is so literally, my mind is already blown.
Now, can you get the pun that we were going for with this?
Oh my God, it's a space bar, space bar, space bar. Gotcha.
How identifiable are the planets?
I recognized that it was our solar system very quickly.
That's good enough. That's good enough.
You've got 8 bodies, and they're of different colors and different sizes.
So we use like little metal marbles, and we dipped them in
Into
paint.
flow acrylic
Yeah.
paint to get these like cool, crazy swirls, and we let that dry. And then we
Gotcha.
actually built a Lego mold to do to make a silicone mold for our space bar, and then embedded the little planets and poured the resin into the Lego mold.
So this looks like it's also multiple pours,
Yes.
not
Yes.
just one. So there's
Yes.
like there's a base pour for the top, and then you put the things in, and you're sculpting this as you're going, right? So you pour resin and sort of move them around with a toothpick for a while until they're...
Yeah. I'm trying to remember specifically
So what we
for
did is we
placement.
didn't want the planets to move around, so I think we actually UV resined them in place during
so
one
each
of the
one got
layers.
a little... Gotcha.
Yeah, so each one is glued in place. Then we did a pour over it to finish it off.
Amazing.
Yeah, but this one was really fun. But you can embed all sorts of things into resin.
Space bar.
Now, another cool thing about resin is it can pick up really, really detailed textures.
Okay.
So, for example, we have this diffraction grating. It's like a rainbow sheet.
Right.
Ooh.
Does it look cool?
Yeah.
Good. Phew. This is a super, super fine texture, like hard for our eyeballs to even see.
But it's like a
What is going
ribbed
on?
texture, or
It's like
not
tiny
even.
prisms.
Yeah, tiny
Right,
prisms
right.
that will break the light into its component
Are
parts.
you about to tell me that you can transfer that texture? No way.
And these are like 4 or 5 years old, and it's still like held up on the surface.
So the rainbow reflection I'm getting from that is an artifact of the resin picking up the literally sub-micron texture
Yes.
of this.
Yes.
Yeah, we made a mold. We attached some of this to pieces of wood. We made a mold pouring silicone around that, and then we poured the resin into that mold,
You
and
can hold the
it picked it
flashlight.
up. Yeah.
That's amazing. I always knew silicone had like could replicate cellular structures.
Yeah.
But I did not realize that resin could also grab that texture that tightly.
And the crazy thing is, these pieces right here, they weren't even put in a pressure pot, which really enhances the accuracy and texture. You can still tell that there's still a few bubbles in there.
Yeah.
But that's just the resin itself settling down.
That's incredible.
We tried it with a few different additives and textures and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and also the specific difference between the side that has that texture and the
Yeah.
side that doesn't is so
That's
clear.
the non, and then
Boom.
Dude, how did you even think about whether or not this would work to try it?
we were curious about what textures the resin could pick up. I think we saw someone did this with chocolate.
Oh,
yeah.
wow, they got
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
particular...
Yeah, so yeah, you can get this same texture in chocolate. So I was like, well, if chocolate can hold that shit.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that
Resin
makes
probably
total,
can.
Resin's
total
gonna
sense.
last way longer than chocolate.
Yes.
So let's like do an experiment.
Because
see what
I'll
we
eat
can
the
do.
chocolate.
Exactly. Exactly.
So another really cool texture that we were able to pick up is lenticular lens, which
Yes.
is like invisibility
Yeah.
material.
Now it's
where-
also used in like posters to get that rotating effect.
yes,
That
but
false 3D by
Yes.
allowing you to see
see.
multiple images.
trying to hold it in a way you can see it and the camera can see it. So,
Let me hold it back a little bit.
yeah. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, very
So if
visible
you-
in that plane.
Yeah, if you hold it horizontally along the length of the lens,
And
you
then,
can see it,
Yeah,
and
vertically it disappears.
it disappears. So we were like, can we make invisibility resin? Will it pick up this texture? And where's my demonstration boy? Am I holding it the right way?
Yeah, and now it's visible. Dude! Okay, you guys are my heroes. That is amazing. Again, another texture that is impossible to feel, and yet you've transferred it and gotten the exact correct behavior out of it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Wow. You guys have, we're 2 in, we're halfway through, and you've all blown my mind twice in a row.
Well, hopefully we can keep things going because do you like records?
Yes?
Do you think that you could ever make a resin record?
Oh, you have? Oh, no way.
We have a demonstration of what it sounds like.
It picked up the texture. Okay.
It did. We were like, because we were like, okay, can we use this textural, this ability to pick up textural detail in a practical use? So here is some copyright-free music. That's the resin record. It's very staticky.
Yeah, a lot of extra noise. But still, a crazy amount of fidelity for poured resin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew that, records are molded.
Yeah.
Right? They're stamped out of a metal stamp, but still, that must have been really cool. It
was really cool.
To play the first time.
It was really cool. As bad as it was, we were like,
it's working! It's alive!
Oh my gosh, that's so great. And you've gotten some embed going on with the colors schemes and everything. So it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that like when they make records, some people put a lot of fun colors in the records that they press.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd try to take it next level. And should I skip ahead a little bit and show them what it does under black light?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I've got one right here.
Perfect.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at all that you've got in there.
I think one cool thing about resin is like it can pick up textures. Like it's a glue, it's structural, it can also be art. Like
right.
It serves so many purposes. You can do so much with one thing.
And I think one reason why we do it so much is you can't fully control resin. Right. So you never know what's going to happen. So it's always kind of like
exciting.
Rolling the dice in a way because you can't fully predict it, even though we've done hundreds of resin pours.
It's a little like pottery.
Yeah.
Right, like pottery is always a little like a lottery.
I
wonder how this came out. Amazing, terrible, somewhere in between. But also this kind of dive, I know we're only halfway through it, but this kind of dive is one of my favorite things because as a maker, you could look at a new material. I remember the first time someone showed me Instacast, and I was like, this is science fiction.
Yeah.
And then, every time someone brings you a brand new thing you can do with it, it's like it opens the world more and more. And this is kind of an amazing dive into one material and all the different executions it can embody.
Yes.
Literally embody.
I hope we can live up to it.
Dude! Okay.
Continuing with...
I'm very curious about the lock.
I know you noticed this earlier. So we thought it'd be interesting to see if resin was detailed enough and strong enough to replicate a key. And we didn't want to do it in just a normal way and make a really nice mold of a key. We wanted to see, could we get instant...
Oh, no way! You're Mission Impossible!
Mission Impossible! So we're like, you could keep this in your pocket. You have this impression. You mix part A and part B.
Yeah.
And then you have about 5 minutes until it hardens. We pushed the key in here, squeezed it down, and then poured resin into the resulting mold. Not the best mold.
Not the best mold.
But we wanted to test it in a spy-like situation.
Sure. No, I totally agree with that. And then you put it in this beautiful clear log. Oh my God,
it's okay. It's okay if you break it. It worked once a few years ago.
It worked once a few years ago. Okay, so I'm seeing the pins moving correctly. It's allowing me to turn the barrel.
Oh my God.
It actually worked. What I love also is that each of these, I can picture you guys coming up with the idea, coming up with a way to executing it, and then you lived the moment I just did with each of these things.
Yes.
Like, it works, it unlocks, it transmits.
We do especially like projects where there is a success condition at the end.
Right, yes. We're moving on to encasing?
Yes, this is one of my favorite things.
This is like a middle category. This is like something totally, okay, I get it. It's a perfect divider line.
So one of my favorite things is making weird stuff with resin. So this right here, for example, is a charm bracelet made of junk food.
Oh, we've got a glazed donut. We've got a gummy.
This is a tiny hot Cheeto.
A flaming hot Cheeto.
Yeah. We have Lucky Charms.
Oh, yeah.
Teddy Graham, a little Valentine's heart.
You've got the Valentine's heart. Oh,
now,
my God.
this year, how long have those been embedded in resin?
1 or 2 years at
Wait,
this
are
point.
these actual foods
Yeah,
embedded
it's
in resin?
actual
Oh, this is like the Big Mac and clear resin?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, my God. I didn't realize these were actual food.
Yeah.
Yes.
No ants have come for them yet.
Not yet.
Wow.
We also just recently, this is actual Rice Krispies, and we made resin marshmallow, and we made a whole table out of it. So that is living in our house right now. And so far, no ants.
Yeah.
That's always
my
like the
gosh.
condition.
I was going to start this whole thing about how much I'm obsessed with Japanese fake food. If you go to Japan, all you
Yeah.
need to do is point, because every dish in the restaurant is perfectly demonstrated out front in physical form. And I was like, oh, baked bean phone case is totally my jam.
Yeah.
But I did not realize these were actual food that you have been preserving. So it's not just encasing, it's preserving.
Yeah.
That too. We actually, one of our longest running series that we've had failures and success on is trying to preserve a carved pumpkin in resin every year.
Yes.
And so
I've watched a few of these.
yeah.
The struggles.
So much, molds falling apart.
Yep.
Amazing, amazing, amazing.
So things like the snack foods and cereal and beans, those are really easy because they're dried. A pumpkin is juicy.
Yeah.
And
You
that,
said that with so much aggression.
I have a lot of aggression towards pumpkin
Years of
juice.
trauma.
Yeah, years of trauma of juice escaping through resin and causing bubbles and leaking out.
In like 20 years, you just say to a young person, that's just my pumpkin trauma talk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, talk to me about the baked bean phone case too. These are real baked beans.
These are dried beans. We've
Dried,
done it with,
right,
we've done
okay.
it with fake ones and with real ones. This one, we brought the one with real ones.
Yeah, but we had to get that radioactive baked bean color. So we did a
Yes.
lot of experimentation to get that very specific color.
I see.
Yeah.
When you're doing color mixing with resin, are you using like a gram scale, or are you using like drops of color? How do you make sure you get the color right?
It's mostly eyeballing it, but yes, we have
usually
some.
drops.
We have some liquid colorants. Like this was done with it's like an opaque liquid colorant that comes in drops.
It's like a universal tinting paste. You can use it for a whole bunch of fun things. Yeah.
We also use a lot of alcohol ink, which is how we get the transparent colors.
Right, like the
this.
aniline dyes.
And then we use mica powder, which is how we get like the pearly
Right.
color.
And
Yeah.
one thing that I think people don't quite realize is that manufacturing-wise, the world has gotten better at making finer and finer powders in the past 20 years, and that's why the chrome paint, spray paint, when I was a kid, was basically gray with like some metal flecks in it, and now it's like almost chrome, what you can get out of a hardware store.
Yeah.
So I love the fine powder additions because
Yeah.
it blends so much amazing texture.
And like with the micas, it always turns out you can't control it. You don't know where the cells are going to form and how things are going to look. So it adds a fun element of surprise.
You guys are an interesting mix because this table represents a lot of precise, iterative problem solving, and yet you keep on also gravitating towards stuff on which control is a limited property. And I like this tension. So I feel like I get where you guys like to spend your time within that tension.
Also,
sure
it makes
there's-
for fun YouTube videos.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm sure there's some psychoanalysis to be had there.
All right, so that's encasing. Amazing for preserving our food for posterity.
Additives. We already showed off a little bit of adding UV.
Well, these have been sort of part and parcel of the whole journey, haven't
Yeah.
they?
Yes, everything's
Yeah.
kind of mixed.
Oh my gosh.
So you can roll these. If you had like a black light above your D&D table, you know?
Oh man.
Yeah, so we love adding glow powder and fluorescent powder. We also recently tried experimenting with thickener. So this is kind of like the normal consistency your resin
Right.
would be, but you can add silica powder to make it thick and moldable.
It's a thixotropic agent.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
It kind of creates like a lattice.
This is almost like a meringue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so all of these were just poured into a round mold, and you can see that as we added a little bit of thickener, it gooped up more.
Yeah, just stopped.
And
Just
then
stopped moving.
this right here, it was like peanut butter almost.
Yeah. We actually did these experiments because we wanted to figure out how thick we could get it to make marshmallow for our Rice Krispie table.
Ah, right. You were looking for a very specific texture.
Yeah.
But it's really cool that you can like add that thickener to resin and slap it on something vertically, and
Right.
like it'll stick, you know?
Oh, you can almost sculpt with it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it is terribly messy.
Right.
It gets everywhere.
Incredibly sticky.
It gets everywhere. We were like, oh, we can mold it like clay. No,
No. No. Okay.
it's like thick glue.
Yeah. And never, it's like impossible to get off one of your hands.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no,
there's no-
it's on there forever.
But it's fun pushing what you can add into resin. So this is something that we explored. Turns out that you can buy tungsten powder. So think in your mind how much like this powder might weigh.
Tungsten, one of the heaviest elements.
Yes.
And relatively inert, not
Yeah.
poisonous like lead.
Yes. Or too expensive like
Tungsten
gold.
powder. Oh my God, you've changed my life just right now.
Now, you can add that to resin.
Oh! Oh my gosh. That's heavier than it would be in steel. Oh, I wish you could feel this right now. Oh my gosh.
That's exactly what we said when we made these.
Oh my goodness, tungsten powder. Because I've actually looked into using tungsten as counterweights for mechanical stuff, but it's also hard to machine.
Yes.
And it's expensive.
Yes.
Yes.
Even little chunky chunks are expensive.
Tungsten powder is way cheaper.
Way cheaper.
And you can form factor it whatever you'd like.
You can also mix it into 5-minute epoxy and then slap it onto whatever you want to counterweight. And then it's adhered and weighted all in one.
gosh.
And you don't have to wait.
Do you find that they don't quite roll as well? You go dunk.
No, you almost need like a foam pad.
Right. Or
Kind of like extend the bounce.
Yeah, rubber line.
But these are surprisingly the small ones. We couldn't bring it because it weighs 20 pounds, but we made one this big.
Dude, really, this is a sea change to me, the idea that you can powderize weight and cast it in situ. That's amazing.
And my guess is it's probably also a lot more machinable because you could probably cast it into whatever shape and size you want.
Right.
And then you're just machining
you're machining
resin
mostly
with an
resin.
abrasive. Yeah.
What is that? What have you come up with a upper limit of tungsten you can embed?
It depends on how brittle you want to go.
right.
So there definitely is a factor.
So there's a
at
brittle
which-
trade-off.
There is, yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
the more you add, the more brittle and crumbly it's going to get.
50-50, a good balance between both.
So
But
a
that's
1-to-1.
1-to-1,
Yeah.
yes.
Gotcha. And,
Now,
volume or weight?
volume.
Volume.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because weight would be
Yeah, no, I'm trying to be a little.
Yeah.
kind of like Salt Bay.
I hadn't thought through Red Salt Bay. Okay, so are we ready for a demonstration?
Yeah, we're going to play with tungsten powder.
Oh,
and
this is great.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Now, I'm curious to see if you recognize what we're going to be casting into.
Okay, and carbonite ice tray. Ice trays must be a very fertile territory for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're really cheap and easy
This is
mold to
people
make.
making silicone molds for you on their
Yes.
dime.
Now, I
The
don't know if
only
you
thing
recognize.
is I had a little back plate because the tungsten is very heavy and the ice cube tray would not hold up.
Fair. Oh my gosh. So that's your 3D printed leveler for
Yes.
the Han and carbonite ice tray.
Yes.
Amazing.
All right, let's get reset up.
Excellent. Yeah. Where do we begin with
First
this
up
magnificence?
is dry brushing because there's only so much tungsten powder you can add to resin before it starts getting brittle. So you can't count on the tungsten to color the resin.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
just dip it in.
So you want the resin to have a little bit of the tungsten color to it because
Yeah,
it's
the
Han and carbonite.
Yes, I know. It's
Okay,
perfect.
I see. Aesthetically, I understand.
We tested it with and without mold release
Yeah.
before, and we found that sometimes mold release can get it too sticky.
Ah,
Have you experienced that?
you get
we're not-
resin too sticky.
Oh no, it can get the mold so sticky that too much dry powder sticks to it.
Gotcha.
It's too thick of a coating of dry powder.
I would tend to imagine with resin in a urethane mold like this that I would barely need much mold release.
You really don't, especially with something where like there's a whole open face, you just pop it out.
Right.
It's more needed for like something long, skinny, where you have to pop it out of the tiny end.
Sure.
Things like that.
Yeah.
Or even like the dice molds. Sometimes it can be hard to get it to pop out of the numbers
Ah.
because they're, recessed.
so
recessed,
yeah.
yeah.
Right.
our audience makes fun of us all the time for not using mold release, but like most of the time we get away with it.
And when we don't, we regret
Ruthlessly get made fun of.
Yes.
Yeah.
The cost of failure in mold making is total.
Yes.
That's the problem with it.
Yes.
There's no incremental failures in mold making.
I kind of tap it out.
Okay.
So you can see the difference right there.
Right, and this is just giving a little bit of extra color.
Yes.
You know, it's funny. I want to tell you at Industrial Light and Magic, we would have the issue that the silicone molds would lend a little silicone into the resin, and so you want to wash your resin casting after casting it in silicone to paint it. But they found that there was a barrier coat. They could use a lacquer spray paint and spray the mold with a primer.
Wow.
And spray it with a primer, and then the resin comes out pre-primed.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now it'd have to be a pretty stout, rigid-ish mold that you wouldn't want to touch it. Because if after you spray it, if you bend the mold too much, or would it move with
crackle?
it?
No, it moves it pretty well. So
with it
this
pretty
is,
well.
I'm not sure how well this would work with a modern spray paint. You'd want to find something like a Tamiya that's a real lacquer.
That has a
that
little bit of
dries
give.
quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they did a lot of open molds with jeweler cuts. That was one of their primary things along the parting lines. So they would have them set up, do a spray in them, and then join them, put on the clamps and pour the resin. And it's a very thin coating.
So it's like right away.
Right away.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of
That's
sense.
interesting.
And
So
then
I was
that
like, how
also-
do you? So as it's drying, it's still flexible, and then you're putting it in position.
And also, it actually keeps the resin from leaching. Not only does it help you paint because it keeps the resin from leaching the silicone in, but it also keeps the mold better for longer.
Yes.
Right? You can only cycle a silicone mold 40 times before it starts to just fall apart.
Wow.
And that's if you're letting it cool down every time. You can get more castings if you're using the spray paint.
That's interesting because I would have thought that you would get less castings because you're like adding some sort of residue, or maybe it would like damage it over time or something.
Yeah, no.
Well, maybe the
apparently-
lacquer's more gentle.
Yeah.
I think the thing about the lacquer is that it goes on really thin and dries very quickly, and that
Interesting.
allows it to move along with the silicone.
We have-
anyway,
we-
that's a
We might use
Something
that.
to try.
Yeah, because we have a really fast drying woodworking lacquer.
yeah.
that we
Oh
love.
yeah.
The spray one.
I love those. The white can.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I use a lot of that. And they're aged lacquer that's got a yellow tint to it.
I think we have one that's more clear and one that's slightly more.
Yeah,
so
they
we have
have
a little
it.
bit of each.
I use them both.
All right, love it.
Okay, so
Okay, so we have a plan. That's
Yeah.
the very first part of our resin process. You got to have a plan. You got to follow it. Lightly dry brush it. We have pre-mixed the tungsten that we want, or pre-measured the amount of tungsten we
it's
want.
so heavy and hilarious.
I know. It's 10 milliliters, yet it's substantial.
That is really crazy. I wish I could give you this feeling.
And one reason that we are trying to be very prepared is this resin's a little different than the resin we normally use. Normally we use a 2-part epoxy that cures like overnight.
Right.
This is going to cure in 10 minutes. So
Very
once we're going, we don't want to be dealing with trying to measure
Fair.
out tungsten. We want to be
Fair.
prepared.
Yep.
Okay, and I'm weird. I like to double glove.
Oh, okay.
Because just in case, in the moment,
Yeah.
if I need to touch the camera or touch
Oh,
something clean,
very quickly adjust.
you have one spare chance.
It's like an extra life.
Yeah.
love it.
Okay. Now we're also using a polyurethane resin, which kicks a lot faster than epoxy resins.
It's like a
And-
science fiction.
Yeah, and cures a lot faster. Okay. This is the dirty area.
I see.
Everything on this gets wrapped up and thrown away because it has part A or part B on it. This is the
never
mixed
cure.
resin area.
Okay, so you have found that cleaning up mixed resin is easy. Cleaning up unmixed resin is a nightmare. Ergo, the two zones don't cross.
They're not
Yes.
crossed.
Got it. I love this. The couple that mixes together.
Sticks together. It's permanently fused together.
Yeah.
Also, we found that pouring from these
Yeah.
is horrible.
Oh.
So we just syringe.
Do you label them A and B?
They're visually different colors.
Right.
So the A is this amber liquid.
Right, and the B is the clear.
Yeah.
A for amber, B for, they really should have made it blue.
So can you,
You can make your blue math if you want.
can you hold this right there? I want to get everything 100% ready before I start mixing.
Yep.
I remember working with some props that I needed quickly, but I needed a little more pouring time, so I kept my resin in the refrigerator.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I got more time.
One of our pumpkins, we put the
Oh, I
entire
remember
pumpkin in the
this.
fridge.
I watched that video. That was very fun.
You want to stopwatch? Right now.
Oh no.
Oh, gosh.
Oh gosh, it's okay.
It's fine, it's fine.
So, yeah.
I got too excited. 30 seconds of mixing.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna just keep that in the dirty area. So I'm gonna pour the tungsten in here and then mix it for another max like 30 seconds. You
Yeah.
can tell it gets pretty flowy,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, still
Touch
very
it just for a second.
pourable.
I wanna... Oh, it's so heavy. It's weird. I love it.
It's so
And
weird.
then you have to stir it while you pour.
Oh.
Because it does want to separate. And it will concentrate a little bit down at the bottom when you're doing, especially like a resin that takes longer to cure.
Right,
This one,
right,
because
right.
it cures so fast, it's more evenly distributed than when we did like the dice, for example.
If you have extra, I've got a Greebly mold here. You can
Oh,
put
yeah.
it. You can pour it in
Yes.
one of those. It's silicone. So
We still have a minute 20 before it starts curing.
well done.
And now we wait. Now I can also take out my outer so that I can properly use this.
Ah.
Yeah, because we have some bubbles forming.
Yep.
I just want to like get a sense of this one. Okay.
So
There you go.
satisfying. Okay, right there, right there.
Okay.
Amazing.
You should be ready in like 10 minutes.
And we can.
All right, yeah, Adam, go ahead and do it.
Can I demold?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh man, I never get tired of that. Oh, crazy! Crazy.
satisfying.
That's that weight.
Like those are paperweights in and of themselves,
They
even how
really
small they are.
The sound.
Yeah, it's. Oh my goodness, you guys have really opened my mind.
Well, they almost feel like so much more valuable because, like, when you like, have you ever held like pure gold?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing. When you hold gold, you're like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
What is this?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
You get the same sensation with this.
Oh my god. Can I cast one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Now, do you want to go for the big one?
Of course I want to go for the big one.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so-
let's clean up and get reset up.
Okay. Sorry, I was just going to start dry brushing right away.
I'll just be
We can
these.
toss these. We don't need to remix.
Yeah, here, let's just wrap all of this up.
Okay.
I'm trying to get it out of the feet.
Extra dusty feet.
Perfect.
All right. There's that.
Cool.
All right, we'll let you move into the danger zone.
And
So-
the amount for this guy, have you figured it out?
So
It's
right here, 15
Oh, look
of
at
A,
that.
15 of B.
Amazing.
Yeah. There we go. Okay. So, into here.
Yep.
I'll get a timer going. We'll mix that for 30.
Yep. And you want 30 seconds?
Yep.
But if you feel like it's ready,
Yeah, I feel like it's ready. I want to
Yeah.
pour this. Wow. Oh, that is a weird feeling. What?
and it's so thick at first,
It
right?
is so thick at first, and then, as you said, it's getting flowy. It feels almost like hot honey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And I
It
can feel it
completely
being
changes.
gummy at the bottom.
yeah.
Yep. So as you pour, you're going to keep stirring a little bit.
Oh, I see it. I see it. It really wants to gather at the
It
bottom.
really does. It's stubborn. Nice.
Oh, look at you guys measuring everything so precisely. I love this. It's almost like you guys have done a demo or two.
Perfect.
Yeah, I love that trick.
Nice. No, we still got, let me see.
Oh, hey, we can pull this one out while
yeah.
we're
Yeah.
chatting. This is a unique object, a tungsten greebly.
A rare
Oh, that feels.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like it's die cast.
Yes, it looks like, it feels like metal.
It
Yeah.
does.
That's incredible.
That's so fun. It's so satisfying.
Also, the metal surface finish does do something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little metallic.
Well, so we also,
and,
I mean,
and we didn't brush this one, did we?
yeah, we did. Oh no, we did not brush that one.
So maybe we don't even need to.
That's interesting.
But I have done a lot of brushing molds with silver, with aluminum powder, and with bronze powder to get that extra finish up at the top.
Yeah. I do feel like these might have a little bit more shine to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one might be a little bit more matte. Oh, it's definitely
Yeah,
lightning.
right
It's
there in the
happening.
middle. You see
It's
the light
happening, everyone.
And that's also always where it's the most heat has been gathered. So
Yeah.
it's less heat out at the edges where it's being pulled out by the rubber.
It's fun watching this with a thermal camera.
Oh, I should have brought mine out. I've got one. Of course I do. I think we can pull this.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I want to hear the thunk.
That is amazing. It is. It's what I want to cast my my Star Wars Beskar in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Dude.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out, like, what this
It feels almost like it's like a 1 pound. Wait, we should weigh it.
10 ounces.
Wow.
Yeah, like 9.5 ounces. That's amazing. That's like just over half a pound.
Yeah.
That's crazy. In such a tiny little package.
That was fun.
Well, and the crazy thing also is like it's by volume just 50% tungsten, half of it's
Yeah.
resin, and it's still so heavy.
I foresee some really interesting applications for this tungsten powder. So first of all, delightful to have you in the cave.
So great to be
It has
here.
been too long in coming, and I
Yes.
want you to come back again.
Of course.
Number two, thanks for the amazing layout of all the things resin can do. This is like, I love these kind of deep dives because they just open up so much possibility in people's minds. And third, oh my gosh, thanks for showing me a brand new thing I did not have any idea about. This tungsten powder is like just blowing my mind wide open.
Well, excited to see what you do with it.
Oh my
Thanks for
gosh,
having us.
I will let you know. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.